Far out in the burning sands of Kutch, archaeologists found something impossible, an Indus city surrounded by horse bones. But wait, weren't horses supposed to arrive in India much later? This wasn't just another brick ruin. This was Surkotada, the mysterious frontier city of the Indus Valley Civilization, where old certainties about India's ancient past began to crumble. Imagine standing in a landscape of reddish dunes, the wind howling like an ancient whisper across the plains of northwestern Gujarat. There's nothing but sand and thorn bushes for miles until your foot hits something hard, a brick, perfectly cut, fired 4,000 years ago. That's how J.P. Joshi, an archaeologist from the Archaeological Survey of India, first unearthed Surkotada in 1964. Hidden near the Rann of Kutch, this was the easternmost outpost of the great Indus civilization, a place that stood guard at the very frontier, where civilization met wilderness. Unlike Mohenjo-Daro or Harappa, Surkotada wasn't a bustling metropolis. It was compact, fortified and purposeful, a small but strategic fort city that might have protected trade routes and borders. Picture yourself walking through the gates of Surkotada. The air smells of baked clay and dry dust. The walls rise almost 7 meters high, built not of stone, but of mud bricks so precise that even after 4,000 years, their edges are sharp. Inside, the layout is unmistakably Indus. Streets in perfect right angles, houses arranged with shared walls, a citadel on a raised platform, and a lower town where common people lived. Every corner screams of planning, every drain, every brick was part of a master design. But here's what made Surkotada unique. It was built not just once, but 3 times, each new city rising upon the bones of the last. Archaeologists found layers of reconstruction, all built a sign of continuity, resilience, and perhaps conflict. And then came the mystery that changed everything. During excavations, archaeologists discovered horse bones, small, distinct, and unmistakable. They were not of donkeys or onagers, but true horses. This was shocking. According to earlier theories, the horse only arrived in India after the decline of the Indus civilization, brought by Indo-Aryan migrations around 1500 BCE. But the Surkotada bones were dated centuries earlier. If true, this meant one of 2 things. Either the Indus people had horses long before anyone thought, or our understanding of the timeline of ancient India was wrong. In 1991, the world-famous archaeozoologist Sándor Berkonya from Hungary personally examined the remains. His verdict? These bones are definitely of the true domesticated horse. It was a discovery that sent ripples across the academic world. Some called it proof of an indigenous horse culture in the Indus. Others dismissed it as coincidence or contamination. But one thing was clear. Surkotada had reopened one of the oldest debates in Indian archaeology. Who really lived in these cities? Let's step inside a typical Surkotada home. The rooms are small but well organized, with storage bins, hearths, and private wells. Pottery pieces lie scattered, painted with familiar Indus motifs. Fish, peacocks, geometric signs. You can almost hear the sounds, the clang of bronze tools, the hum of spinning wheels, the chatter of traders resting before long desert journeys. Surkotada may not have had grandeur, but it was alive, a living organism pulsating with trade, craft, and purpose. Archaeologists found evidence of copper artifacts, beads, and terracotta toys, suggesting contact with the larger Harappan world. And just beyond the city walls, they found ash layers and burnt structures. Was it an invasion, a rebellion, or simply nature reclaiming its ground? We still don't know. Unlike most Indus cities, Surkotada had a double fortification. 2 massive mud brick walls enclosing both the citadel and the lower town. This suggested that even without kings or armies, the Harappans here were preparing for danger. But from whom? Perhaps nomadic tribes from the western deserts, or rival settlements vying for control of trade routes. Maybe even the same climatic pressures that dried up the Saraswati River and shattered 1,000 years of peace. Whatever the reason, Surkotada stood strong for nearly 400 years before it finally fell silent around 1700 BCE. Today, when the sun sets over the red sands of Kutch, the ruins of Surkotada glow like embers of a forgotten world. Each brick still holds the story of a people who lived without kings, without temples, without war, yet built cities more advanced than much of the world. It's haunting to think that while pyramids rose in Egypt under pharaohs and Mesopotamia sang hymns to its gods, the people of Surkotada and the Indus lived by quiet order, without a single palace. And perhaps that's why their story feels so alien to us. A civilization without kings or chaos. Can the modern world even imagine that? Surkotada remains more than just a ruin. It's a riddle in brick and bone. A reminder that the borders of civilization are not always drawn by swords or empires, but by the quiet discipline of communities who dared to dream differently. The lost city still whispers through the wind. That peace, not power, can build the mightiest walls of all. So next time you hear about ancient India, remember the name Surkotada, the city that stood alone at the frontier, guarding the silent heart of a civilization that refused to die in memory. This was episode 5 of our series, Bizarre India, Forgotten Stories from the Ancient Age. If you enjoyed this journey into the sands of time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Historian Baba.